Welcome to PlayPianoTODAY.com. From the first chapter of the Songwriting series, How to Come Up with New Ideas on the Keyboard. One of the most common conversations I have with my students is regarding songwriting. You know, it's really natural to learn to play an instrument and then to start wanting to compose your own songs. And one of the common complaints that I sure understand, because I get into the same rut, is people say, you know, I use the same chords over and over and I don't really know how to break out of it. I'd like to do something original. So with this lesson is going to be a gem because it's tiny, but the implications are huge. I'm going to show you some ideas that hopefully will spark your creativity. They sure have sparked mine. So I'm going to give you a technique today called the descending chromatic line. And I'm going to give you an idea how you can use this really interesting line to superimpose brand new chords that you might not have thought of otherwise. And you might hear these chords and say, hey, I'd like to use those chords in my song. So if that's you, stick around because I think this is going to be a great lesson for you. Let's dig into it. The descending chromatic line. Descending meaning going down the keyboard to the left. Chromatic meaning using every single note. Watch my pinky. It's going to go down and use every single note. It's beautiful because our ears start hearing that line as a melody. In fact, if you're a child of last century, you might recognize this tune. Watch the descending chromatic line here. That descending line is so powerful because it actually creates a melody that our ears hear. Listen to this. And as I always preach in my lessons, melodies are one of the strongest devices in music. So now, how does this descending line apply to your music writing? Well, typically, when you start writing music, you start using very, very simple chords, and there's nothing wrong with that. But after a while, everything may kind of start sounding kind of the same. And that may start driving you crazy, and you may say, hey, how do I break out of this rut? Well, here's a simple way to begin. You take a simple line like this descending line, and the amazing thing is, over the same line, you can superimpose all different kinds of chords, and they each have a different mood and character. So this is great for writing. Let's dig into it. One thing I want to just do a quick recap of is how we're going to notate these chords so you can see them on the screen. I'm going to use a technique called slash chords. In fact, we did an entire series on our site called slash chords, and slash chords are a real simple way to notate and understand chords that are sometimes really complex. For instance, here's a D over C. In my right hand, I have a D major chord. In my left hand, I'm simply playing a C. And you see the slash there, that's a D over a C. That's called a slash chord. Actually, that's a D7 with the 7th in the bass. But it's a lot easier to see a D slash C. Here's another one. Here's B flat over C. It's real easy to see that I'm just playing a B flat major chord in my right hand and a C note in my left hand. The technical name for this chord is actually C11. And I know eventually you're going to study music theory because you're going to get so stoked about this. But if you're just beginning and you haven't studied music theory yet, you can see how slash chords are a fantastic way to reduce complex chords to simple notation. So we're going to use that in this lesson. Let me just remind you again, we've got an entire series of slash chord piano lessons. Check them out at PlayPianoTODAY.com. All right, now I'm going to show you in slash chord form what I played at the beginning of this lesson. And then we're going to take that same descending line and we're going to superimpose all kinds of different chords to inspire you in your writing.